Today I'm going with day 4 of the full spectrum training cycle. This day is focused on the upper body. What I've learned through experience is that a good training session isn't about getting lost in endless variations of the same exercise. Different angles, cables, machines, setups. These days, even something as basic as a bench press seems to come with a manual instruction of all sorts of adjustments that you must necessarily do, otherwise you're doing it wrong. I believe in keeping things simple. Basic, proven exercises done with intention, placed strategically in the right order. That's what brings real results. The magic isn't in how complicated the movement is, but how well it's integrated into the bigger picture of your training. First off, I start with the most important part of the training, which helps me prevent injuries and also enhances the overall performance of the session. And that is the warm-up. For shoulders, I just go with internal and external rotations using a resistance band, and also internal rotations at 90 degrees. I usually try to stay within a range of 20 to 30 repetitions for each side for each exercise, without taking too much time for recovery. What I aim for is to reach a point where I start to feel a slight discomfort. And by discomfort, I don't necessarily mean pain, but more like a bit of struggle. As soon as I feel that, that's basically my range. That's the point where I know I've done what I needed to do. The approach that I've taken today is based on time. I'll dedicate 15 minutes to this whole warm-up. That means completing just one round of internal and external rotations, including internal rotations at 90 degrees. Then I follow with 3 sets of 10 to 12 hanging leg raises, which in my opinion are one of the most powerful tools for growing and consolidating strength, and most importantly for connecting different muscles. They really promote collaboration between muscle groups, which is key for performing more complex and compound exercises. Next, I'm going into my favorite routine, something that's present in almost every single one of my training days. I treat this as a warm-up, as a mid-session break, or even the end of the session. Sometimes I dedicate full days just for boxing, just working on the bag, working on different aspects. Sometimes it's about volume, just pushing for more, while other times I focus on technical details, establishing small goals for each round, trying to refine specific skills. In this case, I'm mixing things up. During this warm-up, I'll probably go for 3 rounds of 3 minutes each. I'll combine some light technical work, improving coordination and making sure my core is engaged, which is key for both power and maintaining a strong stance. I'll also throw in short bursts of explosive power to activate those fast-twitch muscle fibers. The goal is to create a well-rounded warm-up session on the bag, but still keeping in mind not to burn too much fuel, because I'll need that energy for the actual weight training session. Now, I do want to point out that ideally, anything cardio-based like boxing should come after lifting weights. That's because your muscles rely on glycogen stores, and if you deplete that through cardio before training, you're starting your session already fatigued or not fully charged. So while I'm using boxing here as a part of the warm-up, I am careful not to overdo it. I think boxing is such an important tool within the training environment because it offers a wide range of options. Definitely increases the quality of your overall training. It opens up to so many different scenarios. For me at least, it's been a gateway into something beyond just lifting weights. Now don't get me wrong, lifting weights is absolutely essential. A lot of people get into it for aesthetic reasons, and that's completely valid. But building muscles goes far beyond looks. Especially as you move past the age of 40, promoting muscle mass becomes a crucial aspect of long-term health. The natural decline of muscle as we age is real, and resistance training is one of the most powerful ways to counter it. But again, it's just one of the many tools we have. Boxing, for me, opened up a whole new awareness of what my body is capable of. Thanks to it, I started to explore other forms of training, which helped me develop much more well-rounded, complex physical abilities. My strength has improved, my power and coordination got sharper, my mobility increased, and I get injured far less. That's because my training is now multidimensional. I'm not an expert in any single discipline, but after 24 years of consistent training, I feel I've built enough experience to say I've developed what I call a full spectrum approach to physical fitness. A complete structure, not just for strength, but for function, movement, and longevity. The reason I say all of this is because boxing, like many other contact sports, can be used for much more than just preparing to become a fighter. That's just one application. Once you actually explore what's required to sustain punching, kicking, and striking in general, you realize it demands far more complete understanding of the human body and how it moves. So to me, boxing is one of the best tools to improve all aspects of your physical performance and to become strong, not just to look strong. Because being stuck in a single one-dimensional type of training, like only pushing weights, while useful in the short term, can lead to more drawbacks than benefits in the long run. Okay, ready to dive in. Going to keep it short and simple. First exercise, bench press. I start with a warm-up of 30 repetitions, lightweight. Same principle as before. We're aiming for a slight discomfort, not actual pain. Just enough to feel the muscles switching on. Now, this is a good point to mention that the way I approach upper body training is entirely through high repetitions. Almost like the kind of approach you take if you were training for definition. But for me, it's not about aesthetics. It's about keeping my upper body as fluid and flexible as possible so I can perform well in boxing. That's why I absolutely avoid hypertrophy as a main goal for the upper body. That's not to say you shouldn't engage in hypertrophy when training upper body, but I don't believe it should be the core focus. And we should also remember that hypertrophy, like anything else, exists on a spectrum. Just because you're going above 15, 18 reps doesn't mean you're not stimulating muscle growth. You are, just to a lesser extent, which I believe is more beneficial on the long term. Aesthetically speaking, I also think a well-trained body looks better when the proportions lean towards 65% lower body and 35% upper body. It avoids that chicken leg kind of imbalance. But of course, that's both a personal preference and a core part of my full spectrum training system, designed around what I consider the most complete and sustainable structure for long-term performance. Now, having explained some of the structure of the training, the rest is, like I said before, just sticking to what is known to be simple and efficient. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Next up, lat pull down. I start with one warm-up set of 30 reps, then go into 3 working sets of 18 reps with 1 minute rest in between. Same approach for the seated row machine. Nothing fancy, just sticking to that simple, effective structure. Then I move into dumbbell shoulder press. Again, 30 reps for warm-up, followed by 3 sets of 20 reps. Shorter rest here, about 45 seconds, just enough to reset and go again. After that, I go into a superset. Cable triceps push downs straight into cable bicep curl. No warm-up here, just 3 rounds of 12 plus 12 reps, keeping the pace tight with 45 seconds rest. To finish up, I hit 3 sets of 30 reps on the ab crunch machine, full control and core engagement. And I'll wrap it up with 3 rounds of 3 minutes on the boxing bag, staying fluid, explosive and technical. Looks like this one is going to be a joint session, which reminds me that we are uniquely designed to look for each other, to socialize, develop rapport, help, inspire. The greatest sense of achievement is the one you get when helping others. Kindness and empathy are our most important tools. The more we give by using them, the more we'll receive of them when needed. Training together offers a great sense of connection, mutual inspiration and improvement. And it's fun.